Today on Stock Charts in Focus, we're reviewing one of the hidden gems on the site that you need to be using. One of my personal favorite resources to show people. That is our symbol summary tool. A high-level overview for researching individual securities, brings in charting, technicals, fundamentals, dividend information, corporate profiles, even shows you which chart list you've saved a specific symbol into. So many different ways to use this tool. It works great across all your devices as well. So one that you can definitely use out there on the go, on your mobile phone or your tablet. But we are going to show you all of the different implementations of this tool on the show today. Definitely one that you are going to want to incorporate into your toolkit after this. So we got a lot to cover on the show. Of course, you know what it is. It's all new. It's all here. It's Stock Charts in Focus. All right, my friends, welcome to the show, Stock Charts in Focus, our product focus show here on the channel where we dig into the site, dive into those tools, show you around the features, and of course, help you try to get more value out of Stock Charts. That is our mission here every Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern Time, up on our live channel, but also up on our YouTube channel after that and the on-demand platform at StockChartsTV.com. You got lots of ways to watch. My name is Grayson Roze, Vice President of Operations here at StockCharts.com. So good to be with you. We were off last week, so it's good to be back on the show. And today we're reviewing something that is near and dear to my heart because it was actually one of the tools around the site that I helped design personally, something that I am a big champion of. I love this tool. It's something that I use in my own toolkit, something that I find myself relying on more and more and actually kind of using almost as the starting place for researching things. That is, of course, our symbol summary tool. That's that high-level overview feature. Helps you get a sense of kind of everything you need to know about a specific security. Now, it's really designed for stocks, but can also work well for ETFs. So we are going to tour you through this resource. Make sure that you know how to use it. Make sure you know what it is. And we're actually going to show you all three of the different implementations of this tool. We've got three of them in a couple of different corners of the site. We have the standalone tool, we have the chart list view, and then we've also incorporated the symbol summary concept into ACP. So really, no matter where you are, you can start to use this tool. And furthermore, we've also built links to it around a bunch of different places. So a lot of the data tables around the site give you quick access to this. You can actually get to it from the SharpCharts workbench as well. There's lots of different ways that you can access this tool. So we're going to run through all of that, give you a sense of kind of what's there, make sure that you're aware of this, because I think this is one that you need to be incorporating into your process if you haven't already. Now, as I mentioned in the open, another great thing about the symbol summary page is that it works beautifully across all your devices. It really kind of scales down to fit. So if you're out on the go, you're on your phone, you're on your tablet, you can actually leave this up in your browser on your phone, for instance, and quickly access this page, pull up charts, pull up fundamental information, technicals, get a sense of what things are doing. Again, the page scales to fit on any device and it works really, really well. So that's actually something that I use. This is one of the pages I use when I'm out on the go, when I'm on my phone and a stock pops into my head and I want to see how it's doing, or I've got different things from my portfolio. This is a nice way to kind of run through individual names in a format that really fits on your phone beautifully, especially with those little mini charts that you're going to see on this page. Everything really fits on your phone or your tablet really nicely. So we're going to fly through this today. We got a lot to cover. Without further ado, let's jump over to the site and show you around the symbol summary. All right, everyone, so we are starting here on our charts and tools page. Of course, I always like to mention this is a great resource, great directory of kind of everything that is on StockCharts. A nice page that you can go to, whether you're a member or whether you're using some of our StockCharts tools for free. You can really kind of get a sense of everything that is around the site, but also access different tools and features. So this is going to be our starting place for today because first and foremost, we need to get to that symbol summary page. We're going to run through it in just a minute, but I want to show you a couple of the different ways that you can actually get to this tool. So here on our charts and tools page, first up, the easiest way to get there is actually up at the top of the page. This is something you can use across the entire website, no matter where you are. You've got this menu up at the top that you're probably familiar with. This is where you go to enter a symbol and pull up a different chart. You can type in any specific symbol and jump over to a sharp chart. That's going to be kind of the default entry. But as you can see, you can actually open this menu up and select from some of our different tools. So if you want to get over to ACP, for instance, or Interactive Advanced Charting Platform, you can do that with this menu. Point and figure, gallery view, some of those other tools are in here as well. The one up at the very top is symbol summary. So this is actually the first way that you can get to the symbol summary page, and you don't have to be on this charts and tools page. You can actually be really anywhere on the site. Select symbol summary from that menu, type in a specific symbol up top, and you are good to go. Now, one other little thing about this menu, something that you might want to take advantage of, if the symbol summary becomes one of your favorite tools, you really want to have that kind of as your primary option up in this box. You don't want to have to select it every time that you type in a different symbol. You can actually use the starring capability on any device to star your favorite from this menu. So if you're an ACP user by default, you want to star that menu. If you're a SharpCharts user, that's going to be your primary. You want to keep that star on SharpCharts. If symbol summary becomes your favorite though, and you like, as I said, you like using this as kind of a starting place for your research, you can actually just star that symbol summary and it'll become the default. So everywhere around the site, you'll see symbol summary in that menu. The nice thing about this little starring feature before we continue on, it's actually device specific. So you can set this up on your mobile phone, for instance, have symbol summary as the default option for your mobile phone because again, it scales really nicely to fit on your smaller screens. But on your larger screen, your laptop, your desktop, you might want to leave SharpCharts or ACP or point and figure, whatever the other option is. You can leave that one starred on some of your larger screens. So you can actually kind of manage this starring system on a per device basis. It's not managed at your account level. It's actually just on the different device that you're on. So that is a couple of different ways to engage with this menu. A couple other tips and tricks thrown in there as well. But first and foremost, you can always select symbol summary from that menu. When you're on that charts and tools page, you can also scroll down. You can see on the right side of the page, we do have an entry for symbol summary. That's going to take you right over there. But if you keep scrolling down to that summary pages group, you've also got an option right here. You've got that full card, gives you a quick description of kind of what this tool is. You can enter a symbol in that box right here, hit go, and you're off to the races. Now, before we jump over to symbol summary, there's one other important way to access this tool for all of you SharpCharts users. So we're actually going to jump up here. We're going to select SharpCharts from this menu, and we're going to type in a specific symbol. Now we are on what we call the SharpCharts workbench. This is familiar to you if you are a SharpCharts user. So you've pulled up a chart. Let's say you've got a chart of Adobe up on the screen, and you say, hey, I like what I'm seeing here on Adobe, maybe from a short position side at the moment. But you like what you're seeing here. You want to kind of dive into that high level concept for this specific symbol. You could come up to the menu up at the top, enter symbol summary, type in that ticker symbol, or you could actually come down to the bottom of the SharpCharts workbench. You actually have an entry for symbol summary right down there in that kind of tool row. So to get to the symbol summary, this is kind of our last option. You've also got access to the symbol summary down here at the bottom of the SharpCharts workbench. And the nice thing about this, it's actually going to pull up the symbol summary with whatever symbol is on your Sharp chart. So in this case, you can actually be kind of charting in that full screen SharpCharts mode. You've got Adobe up on the chart there. Scroll down, hit symbol summary, and there you go. You're right over to the symbol summary for that particular security that you were just charting. So that's kind of a quick tour of how you can access this page. Now we are here though. Let's dive into the meat of today's show and show you all of the different corners and features and everything that's here on our symbol summary page. Now, we're not going to get too granular with this because frankly, the tool really is a little bit self-explanatory. There's a couple of different sections. We're going to kind of run through what those mean. We're not going to go through everything line by line though. Up at the top of the page, you've of course got your important price information and grouping information as well. So we're looking at Adobe right here. Of course, we've got our latest price quote in big text there, right, big and bold at the top of the screen, as well as a percent change and price change area as well. We've got a couple of other little stats, market cap and volume. These are kind of the high level things that you need to know. Of course, the company name and the symbol, but also what sort of groups it belongs to, which exchange it trades on primarily, also its sector and its industry. So you can see quickly that Adobe is a technology stock in the software industry group. So you kind of get the high level information right up there at the top. Now, if you do want to change the symbol, you can use the box at the top if symbol summary is selected, or you can use this enter a symbol box right up at the top. So you can quickly flip between different symbols here on our symbol summary page. Rounding at the top, we also have a couple of quick actions for members. So if you are on this page and you're looking at a specific security and you decide, hey, I want to save this to a chart list in my account, you can actually just hit that big green button, choose which chart list you want to save this to. You can also edit the name that it's going to save with and the chart style that it's going to save with. It's going to populate with the symbol and the company name by default, but you can quickly and easily save any of these symbols that you're working with on the symbol summary. You can save those to a specific chart list in your account. Also, if you want to set a specific price alert for anything on this page, you can do that with that big blue button up at the top. You can create a new price alert right from this page. It's going to give you that little mini chart, tell you how many price alerts you have available in your account. But you can set your trigger, whether you want it to cross above or cross below, enter a specific price, or even use specific percent change moves, whether it's 5% up, 10% up, 5% down, 10% down. You've got a couple of different options in there. You can also choose your notification type: email, text message, site notification. You can check all three of those if you want. So nice little feature here. You can actually create price alerts on the fly right from the symbol summary page. Now, we're going to run through the different sections of the page, but the thing that's kind of sitting in between that top section and the meat of the page is actually a row of kind of the different sections that are on this page. These allow you to quickly and easily jump to any area of the page. So if you come here and you know that you want to get to the chart list section, you can give that a click, and as you can see, it's going to scroll you right down to that chart list section. So if you are on the go, especially if you're on your phone, for instance, and you don't want to have to scroll all the way down to the bottom, this little row of links is actually very, very handy. Jumps you down to specific sections of the page. As we mentioned earlier in the show, what this page is intended to do is give you a high-level overview of different securities that you are researching. So you've got your mini chart, you've got some summary information, some fundamentals, technicals, even things like corporate profiles. So you're going to see all of that in detail as we go along. First up, you do have that mini chart. Now, something about this mini chart, I love these things. I mentioned earlier in the show that I'm starting to use this page a lot more kind of as my starting place. And one of the reasons is actually because of this little mini chart. If something doesn't appear in this small format, if the strength or the weakness doesn't appear in this small format, it's probably not going to show up when you blow up the chart. There is something really beautiful about a small, very simple, kind of stripped out chart. So I actually really love working with these mini charts. I find that it's easy to kind of stick to price and be true to what's happening in the markets by using these little mini charts on this symbol summary page. So you do have a couple options in here though. You can choose between different time frames, and these are automatically going to jump between different periods as well as you go on, so that the charts actually make sense. We're not going to give you a 2-day daily chart. We're going to give you a 5-minute 2-day chart. So you can see you've got a couple of different periods in here, all the way up to a 5-year chart. If you do want to jump straight into the SharpCharts workbench though, you've got two options. You can either click on this chart directly, or you can use this little icon down below the chart to launch a SharpChart. If you want to get over to ACP, we've got an advanced chart button right there as well. That's going to take you over to ACP with this symbol already loaded up there. Couple more actions as well if you want to get to point and figure charts or gallery view, perf charts, seasonality, or even access our historical data for any specific symbol. You can use those little buttons down at the bottom of that mini chart. Now, next up, we're going to give you that high-level summary. This is some of the price information and some of the key metrics that you're going to want to know. Things like earnings per share, things like what's the next earnings date of this symbol, what's the previous earnings date of this symbol, even a little bit of dividend information if this security does pay a dividend. So that summary is kind of the stats that you're probably going to want to know right off the bat. Speaking of earnings, I picked Adobe because this is actually a company that reported earnings yesterday. And as you can see, we've got a little alert at the top of this page that makes it really, really clear and obvious that this company reported earnings yesterday. There's a couple of different versions of this. If the company reported earnings yesterday, it's going to be a green banner. If the company reports earnings today, I believe it's going to be a blue banner saying reports earnings today. And if it reports earnings tomorrow, it's going to give you an orange banner saying, hey, this thing's about to report earnings. So you might want to steer clear or be cautious if you're thinking about buying into to this name or selling it if you're playing the short side. So anyways, you've got a couple of different things there. That high level summary, though, is intended to kind of give you some of those stats that you're probably going to want to know. Again, things like all-time high, 52-week range, the good stuff. Now, we get a little bit more granular as we go down. So we've got a whole fundamentals section of this page with some of the key fundamental metrics that people ask us for. We've also got a technical section of this page with some of the key technicals that you can actually compare between securities. So a couple really cool ones in here. You do get some performance values, 5-day, 1 month, 3 month, 6 month, things like that. Year-to-date performance is right in here. So at a quick glance, you can see some of those important performance metrics, how this security has done over different time periods. You also get some very handy, very cool little moving average numbers in here as well, though. So what this shows you, 3 very common moving averages: the 20-day exponential, the 50-day simple, and the 200-day simple. We show you what those moving average values are, and then we show you where this stock or this security is trading relative to those moving averages. So in this case, what we can see is this, that Adobe is trading 21% below its 20-period EMA, 26% almost below its 50-day EMA, and almost 35% below its 200-day EMA. So you can see some of those right at a quick glance. At the bottom, we've got some sort of bounded technicals, things like RSI that trade between a range. You can actually compare these across securities. So if you want to see what the 14-period RSI value is, you've got that right there. A couple of interesting ones in that technicals group. The other thing to note about this is that we are constantly expanding our coverage. So we are actively exploring additional fundamental metrics, additional sort of expansions for this tool overall. We've got some big things coming in the next couple of months as we bring even more data to the symbol summary page. So keep an eye out for that. Of course, we're going to tell you all about it here on StockCharts in Focus when that rolls out. Next up, we've got a Scooter section, StockCharts technical rank. That's what Scooter stands for. That is our way of comparing technical strength between stocks in a specific group. Now, Adobe is one of those large caps, so it's in a large cap group. A very weak Scooter score at the moment, 1.6. It really doesn't get much lower than that. So at a quick glance, you can see that current Scooter score for whatever you are looking at, if it does have a Scooter score. And you also get a couple of months of history, so you can actually see kind of how that has been moving. Again, the Scooter is between 0 and 100, so this chart is always going to show you between 0 and 100. You can see that it's tried to gain a little bit of strength there in August, but it really peaked out almost right at 50. So you can get a little bit of history to that Scooter score, see it over time. If you do want to access the full Scooter reports, you also have a button to do that right there. And of course, you can learn more about our StockCharts technical rank with that click here button at the bottom of that panel. Now, additional earnings information and analyst ratings, again, things that we are bringing out to this tool very soon, so keep an eye out for that. So we've got those kind of teasing you there in the page at the moment. But down below that is actually one that I find I use a ton, again, for researching different companies that I'm coming across. If I'm running scans and I find something that really kind of piques my interest, the chart looks great, I might want to jump over to the symbol summary and read up on what that company does. Now, it might be easy for something like Adobe or Apple or Microsoft, things that you know, but if you come across more obscure companies in more obscure industries, you might want to actually kind of research and read up on kind of what that company is, what their specialty is, what kind of products they have, those sorts of things. So we call that our corporate profile. We do have this in here for individual stocks. Also for many ETFs, if you do pull up an ETF on this page, typically it'll give you a description of kind of what that fund does as well. So another area of the page that we're going to continue to expand and bring more features to. But for now, this is a perfect way to learn a little bit more about those companies that you are finding if you are playing individual stocks. So of course you get the location, you even get a link to their website. You can learn a little bit more about the company. Again, sector, industry repeated down here, also the employee count. But then this description of kind of what that company does is very helpful. I always love to check these out before I make a decision and jump into a new trade or a new investment. Below that, we've got a couple of really interesting panels. They are tucked away down here at the bottom, but some really important ones, actually some of the ones that I use most on this page. We've got predefined scans. So if this symbol has triggered any of our predefined scans, we're automatically going to list that out right here. So you can see things like double bottom breakout, new 52-week lows, a long tail down on the PNF charts. Those are some bearish scans that Adobe is triggering, and you can see that without even having to run a single scan or jump over to that predefined scans page and kind of search for it. We're automatically going to pull in those results, filter it for this specific symbol, and list out the scans that this thing is triggering. If you do want to get over to our predefined scans page, you can always hit that View All button at the top corner of that panel. Now also, we were talking about alerts up at the top of this page, setting custom price alerts for this symbol. If you do have any alerts set up for this specific symbol, those are going to show right here. If you've got different price alerts set for the symbol that you're looking at here on the symbol summary page, that is actually going to list out right here in the alerts for Adobe or any symbol that you're looking at panel on this page. If you want to create a new alert, you can do that with that button right there. And if you want to see all of the alerts that you've set in your account, of course, you can hit that View All button in the top right corner. Now, finally, we've got the ChartLists panel. This is actually one of my favorites on this page. What this is going to show you is all of the different chart lists in your account that you've saved this symbol to. So if you've saved Adobe anywhere in your account, we're automatically going to tell you where that is. Couple of different uses of this. First and foremost, if you're like me and you're looking at a ton of charts, you're saving things all over the place, it's nice to have a little search function here to say, oh, I know that I saved Adobe somewhere, but which list was that in? Which watch list? Where did I put that thing? You can jump over to the symbol summary page, scroll down to this section. Again, use that little button up at the top to jump down here automatically. Scrolls you right down, and it'll actually tell you which chart list you've saved that into. You can click on the names of any of these chart lists to jump right over to it, or click on the name of the saved chart to jump over to that specific saved chart on the SharpCharts workbench. So that's one nice little use case. But another way that I've actually started using this, as you can see, I've created a whole bunch of lists in my account for predefined groups. That's something that you can do in both SharpCharts and in ACP. You can create a chart list and fill it in with all of the S&P 100 or 500 or 400 members, NASDAQ 100, the Dow members, all of that stuff. So I've actually got chart lists in my account for all of those major indexes, all of the stocks that are included in those major indexes. I have a chart list with all of those stocks in it. The nice thing is that when I jump over to the symbol summary page, this is automatically going to tell me where Adobe has been saved in my account. So if I've created a list that's got all the S&P 500 members, that's actually going to show up in this panel on the symbol summary page, as you can see right here. So Adobe, at a quick glance, I can see that this is in the S&P 100, this is in the S&P 500, and this is in the NASDAQ 100. Because I've created those chart lists with those members, it's actually going to show up on this page automatically for me. A nice little feature. Again, I've done this for all the different groups, the Dow, the S&P 600 and 400, all those different groups. And so when I use this symbol summary page, I can actually use this little chart list feature to tell me if this is in any major indexes, if this is a component of the Dow, the NASDAQ 100, things like that. So another nice little way to use this feature. Now, down at the bottom, you do have quick access to, again, a couple of those other popular tools, SharpCharts, ACP, Gallery View, PNF charts, and seasonality. So if you want to jump over to any of those, again, those are all going to load with the symbol that you're looking at on the symbol summary page. So if you want to pull up the seasonality chart of Adobe, for instance, you can just click that seasonality link right down at the bottom. That'll take you over to that seasonality view for Adobe. So that is our run through. I know a little bit long, not too detailed, but hopefully gives you a sense of kind of what this page is and what you can do with it. Again, I use this as the starting place for a lot of my research now. I've got that mini chart so I can see how things are doing from a price movement perspective, but also it brings in so much else, and I can really start to think about different symbols differently. I can compare things, get a sense of sizes, get a sense of scooter scores, technicals, fundamentals. Is this thing about to report earnings? Does this pay a dividend? All of that stuff is contained in this page. And again, because I've got quick access to some of these different tools, if I start with this symbol summary page and then I say, okay, now I've got a sense of kind of what this thing is, I've read up on this company, I want to jump over to the chart, it's really easy to do that. All I have to do is click on that chart, jump right over to, for instance, a sharp chart of Adobe. So very, very easy to use this page as a starting place. Now, I mentioned that we have a couple implementations of this tool though. So let's actually jump over and show you a few of those. First up, we're going to show you the ChartLists orientation or implementation. We're going to jump over to the dashboard, of course, the heart and soul of your StockCharts account. If you're a StockCharts member, this page is familiar to you. This is what you see when you log in. You can customize this page, but it really does contain kind of everything about your account. All of your scans, your alerts, your chart lists. Also has a member tools section over on the left. By the way, you do have a link to the symbol summary page in here. So if you are on the dashboard, that's actually another place where we've implemented a little link to access that symbol summary page. But if you're on the dashboard, we're going to jump down to chart lists. We're actually going to open up my tier 1 watch list, what I like to call my tier 1 watch list. And I'm going to open up this view as menu. As you can see in here, there is a link to symbol summary. So we have a ton of different chart list views. If you're a StockCharts member and you're using SharpCharts, that's probably familiar to you. One of the views that we have recently rolled out is a symbol summary view. So instead of having to manually type in one symbol at a time over on that standalone tool that we were just looking at, you can actually jump over to any of your chart lists, pull up that symbol summary view, and you can see this is going to be the exact same tool. Everything is right here, exact same thing that we were just looking at. The only difference is that we're looking at all of the symbols within a specific chart list. We've got a menu up at the top here, and you can see when I open that up, these are all of the different symbols that I have saved into what I call my tier 1 watch list. So these are kind of things that I'm keeping an eye on, charts that have caught my eye. I can easily jump to anything in this list because we're now in the chart list view that's built around that symbol summary. Now, we can do this with this menu in the middle. We can jump to a specific symbol if we've got one in mind, or we can use the previous and next buttons to actually kind of flip through the entirety of a chart list using that symbol summary view. So if you like the symbol summary, you want to combine that with your SharpCharts chart lists, this is the way to do it. Pull up that symbol summary view, same exact tool. You can actually save this into other chart lists. You can create alerts right from here. All of the different things that we just ran through on the standalone tool, they're all here for you. Again, those mini charts, different customizable timeframes, all that good stuff is right in here. The only difference is you're looking at a chart list, so you can easily flip through things. This is a great tool to use if you've got your portfolio saved into a chart list. Really easy to flip through all of the different stocks in your portfolio. And again, this scales to any device size. So if you're out on the go, you want to kind of flip through that high-level summary for your the stocks in your portfolio, for instance. You can do that using this chart list view. Just pull up one of your chart lists, pull up that symbol summary view, use that menu up at the top to either jump to a specific symbol or use those previous and next buttons to flip through that list. A really, really nice addition here to our chart list world. Now, the other implementation is in ACP. So we're going to jump over to ACP, show you the symbol summary edition over in that advanced charting platform. So here we are in ACP, of course, our interactive advanced charting platform. If you are an ACP user, the good news is that symbol summary is actually built right into the platform. This might be something you're already using, but if you're not familiar with this, if you haven't seen it, super easy to access. We've got our chart in the middle of the screen. Over on the right side, we've got all of our different sidebar menus. Now, you can look for that little file with a $ icon, give that a click. That's going to open up the symbol summary. By the way, anywhere on the site, if you see this little icon, that kind of file with a $sign, that's going to be our symbol summary icon. So actually, another way to access this tool around the site is from some of the different data tables, things like that. Anytime you see that icon, that's actually going to be the way to access symbol summary. That's going to indicate that you're jumping over to that tool. But here in ACP, you can pull up that symbol summary sidebar right next to your charts. Kind of the best of both worlds. Gives you access to your advanced charts. You can do anything you want with these. They are full featured charts. And right next door, you've got that whole symbol summary view. Same kind of concept. It's laid out just a little bit differently, but pretty much everything is there for you. Again, you've got that high level overview up at the top, the price information, sector and industry, market cap, volume, all that good stuff. You've got that summary section, fundamentals, technicals, scooter ranking, and the corporate profile down at the bottom. We don't bring in the predefined scans and alerts and things like that, but again, we are consistently adding to this symbol summary view, so you can expect this symbol summary sidebar right here in ACP to also evolve over time as we bring out more earnings history, earnings beats and misses, that kind of thing. That'll definitely be added to this symbol summary sidebar. But as it stands right now, this is a fantastic tool. Something that I find I actually just kind of leave open as I'm going through my charting. The really, really nice thing about this is that as you jump from symbol to symbol in ACP, you can leave that symbol summary sidebar open and it's going to follow along with you. So if we jump over to something like CSL, for instance, there we go. We've got the symbol summary right there for us. We can see the full featured chart of Carlisle, and we've got our symbol summary of Carlisle as well. This is going to just kind of follow along. So you don't have to type in two different symbols. You don't have to kind of maintain that symbol summary panel. It's just going to follow along with you as you go about your charting. One other really nice thing is that this is actually going to also stay open even if you have some of the different other sidebars open as well. So for instance, you can open up your chart lists here in ACP, and you can leave that symbol summary sidebar open with your charts on top of that. So we could jump into, for instance, our tier 1 watch list that we were looking at before. And again, we can just kind of start to click through some of these charts. Again, it's going to follow along as we go. So we're clicking through a chart list here in ACP. We've got our symbol summary view on the right. We've got our chart on the left. This is power charting at its finest here. So you've got a couple of different options. And you can also do the same thing from the bottom of the screen. If you do open up the chart list drawer, you can do the exact same thing. You can have your charts up top, you can have your symbol summary on the right, and your chart list down at the bottom. Here in ACP, you've got a couple of different options for where to position your chart lists. You can get that kind of full featured view down at the bottom, or if you want that slimmed down sidebar view that just brings in the price information, doesn't give you sort of the full picture, you can also do that on the right as well. So a couple of different options, couple of different implementations of that symbol summary feature, and the one here in ACP I find to be an absolute boost to your charting. If you're in this advanced charting platform, this is definitely something you're going to want to explore, want to experiment with. I find that it really helps you as you're going through that research, running scans, flipping through your portfolio, flipping through your watch list. That symbol summary sidebar, having that open on the right, is a big, big boost. So that is our show for today. I want to thank you so much for joining me on the show. Again, we do this every Friday, digging into tools, diving into features, ultimately just trying to help you get more value out of StockCharts. That's our mission here on StockCharts in Focus every Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern. As we mentioned at the open, we're up on the live channel at 3 p.m. Eastern, but also up on our YouTube channel after that, the on-demand platform at StockChartsTV.com. So you got lots of different ways to watch. My name is Grayson Roze, Vice President of Operations here at StockCharts.com. Thank you so much for joining me on another episode. We will be back next week, next Friday, for another edition of StockCharts in Focus. But until then, chart on, my friends.